It looks like Doug Ford absolutely went off in this video.
Like handing an opportunity on a silver platter to First Nations that by the way, I have treated like gold. And over again, the chiefs, national chiefs, the regional chiefs, other chiefs have told me we've never had more access to a premier ever, as long as they can remember. So, like I tell Rickford all the time, I should be the Minister of Indigenous Affairs because I get calls every single day. And when I first came into office, I told Minister Rickford, treat them all, give them what they need, whatever they want for them to prosper. But there's going to be a point that you can't just keep coming hat in hand all the time to the government. You got to be able to take care of yourselves. And when you literally have gold mines, nickel mines, every type of critical mineral that the world wants, and you're saying, no, I don't want to touch that. By the way, give me money. Not going to happen. It's simple. It will help them develop the mines and become very prosperous in their communities. Something they've never had ever in their entire lives. And I'm bending over backwards to make sure we take care of them. But it's a two-way street here. And so I look forward to the meeting, actually. I've met a lot of them. I think I've met all of them.
And after he said that, he very quickly took it back. At the end of the day, it seems like nobody's going to win when everything is a controversy, especially when he just simply said the truth. On top of that, we have Pierre Poilievre exposing the insane mandate the Liberals want to apply over the next few years.
Well, somebody wants to tell you where to go and how to get there. It's the Liberal government's new attempt to ban your gas-powered vehicles. Starting next year, they plan to bring in what's called a zero-emissions vehicle mandate that becomes more and more stringent until it bans gas-powered vehicles altogether. In 2026, the federal government will begin phasing in the mandate, with automotive manufacturers and exporters forced to meet a target of 20% of sales in the, quote, zero-emitting category. That means electric. Raising that to 60% by 2030 and 100% by 2035. So in 10 years, gas-powered vehicle sales will be banned altogether. And now, manufacturers and importers that don't meet the quota must buy pricey credits as high as $20,000 a car, a cost that's obviously going to be passed on to consumers. So prices go up, choice goes down, and it's a decree from a government that thinks it knows better than the rest of us and is perfectly willing to make our lives more expensive and difficult to pay for it. And Mark Carney wants to go even further. Back in 2021, in his book Values, he said, quote,
"A host of other fiscal and regulatory policies made by governments can be highly effective in setting out the contours of a net zero economy, including regulations to phase out the sale of new internal combustion vehicles in the next decade."
So if you followed that schedule, they'd be banned altogether by 2031, even faster than the current Liberal government plan. But let's be honest, Canada is not a small, flat, warm country that is easy to get around. It's a vast, cold, resource-producing country where millions of us drive long distances to get to work, feed our families, and haul supplies, and yet the Liberal government wants to ban the technology that works the best, internal combustion engines, and force us all into driving electric vehicles, whether the grid is ready or not, whether the charging network exists or not, or whether we can afford it or not. The CAA found that EVs lose 40% of their battery life in cold weather, and that was tested in just -7 to -15 weather conditions, practically balmy compared to winters in Winnipeg, Thunder Bay, and much of rural Canada. This is not about reducing emissions. It's about imposing elite ideology on the common people. Look, if you want to drive an electric vehicle, great. I'm all for free choice. But despite the hype, they don't work for everyone. They cost about 15 grand more than a gas equivalent, even after government subsidies. And those subsidies, they don't fall from the sky. They come out of your pocket in the form of the taxes that pay for them. Now, thanks to the ZEV mandate, car companies will have to make up the fines and costs of compliance by just jacking up the price that you pay when you buy your vehicle. That means we'll pay more even if we don't want or can't use an EV. And let's talk about the grid. Right now, EVs make up just 8 to 10% of new cars in Canada, yet our grid is already stretched. What happens when that number jumps to 100%? Ask Ontario Hydro, BC Hydro, or Hydro-Quebec how ready they are to charge tens of millions of electric vehicles every single night on top of the growing residential and industrial demand. Spoiler alert, they're not ready. So How do the Liberals plan to bridge the gap? Well, more debt, more taxes, and more unreliability. It's funny, these are the same people that say that you should use less air conditioning in the summer to save money for the grid because it's overwhelmed and over-demanded right now. But then they force you to buy an electric vehicle that will place even more demands on it. Who's this going to hurt? Who's going to pay the price? Well, it's going to be the single mom in Sudbury who drives 30 minutes to drop off her kids, or the tradesman in Kamloops hauling tools in a Ford F-150. It's the senior in Cape Breton who wants to buy a used Corolla for a good price because it runs great and it's affordable to gas and maintain. The people the Liberal elite never think about will pay the highest price. This isn't about the environment. It's about control. You're imposing a top-down command and control scheme designed in boardrooms, not garages. They didn't ask us what we wanted. They dictated. And now we'll pay more to get less. Fewer choices, higher costs, longer wait times, all in the middle of a cost of living crisis. So here's what we conservatives will do. We will repeal the ZEV mandate, scrap the industrial carbon tax, cancel the Liberal fuel standards that punish us and make our lives more expensive. We'll trust Canadians, you, to make your own choices. And we'll unleash the power of the free market to produce better cars at lower prices that travel longer distances with less fuel. Competition and choice, not bureaucracy and rules, will incentivize businesses to make better products at lower prices, because we believe technology should serve people and not the other way around. We'll maximize personal freedom and choice. So you decide. You should be free to decide what you say, what you think, and what you drive. We need a smaller government with bigger citizens. The state should be servant and not master. It's time to bring home control of our lives, our cars, and our choices. It's time to put you back in the driver's seat.
When the Liberals talk about nation-building projects, are these the projects they want to invest in? Charging stations for electric cars? Shutting down manufacturing plants so they can build EVs? They want to mandate vehicles that nobody wants, that are extremely expensive, not only to buy but to maintain, and they depreciate in value substantially. If you want to buy an electric vehicle, by all means, go ahead, but it should not be forced on the entire country. I'd like to know what you think down in the comments section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you very much for watching.